What's up, everyone? It's Dan with Unsilent Majority TV once again. And this is going to be my final video on the Mandela effect. As you can see, I've made a few videos, and I've come to the conclusion after doing these videos and really spending some time and putting a lot of energy into looking at over this topic. I've come to the point where I've realized that yes, there are legit changes, but at the same time, we have quite a few changes that that I've found, in my opinion, are not legit. And this is not to discredit or put anybody down that might think a certain thing has changed, because there's many reasons for that. And I'm going to go in this video, I'm going to go into detail as to what I think is going on, why I think this particular effect is so strong and has gone out of, just basically gone out of control. But that's all by design. And there's a couple of reasons for this. And here's my basic premise as to what I think is going on. And I'm going to go ahead and show some documents and some video clips and things here to present why I've come to this conclusion. Basically, this is what I think is going on, guys. Throughout all of my videos, I always try and tell everyone that I am all about evidence. Evidence to support whatever particular claim is being made. Okay, so we have a claim here of the Mandela effect and things being changed. Okay, so what have we found? There's been biblical changes, there's been changes to movies, there's been changes to products, right? Along those lines. In my research and in my time that I've spent on this, I've come to the conclusion that yes, they have changed biblical verses. Okay, I'm only going to go over one of them right now. There's been more than one, but the most common one that everybody knows about is the lion shall lie down with the lamb, right? They want, right now it says wolf if you open up the Bible, and I'll put that verse right here in the video so you can look it up. But if you look it up, it's going to say the wolf, and it's going to no longer say the lion. All right. I am sure that was the first verse I learned when I was younger, when I was a little boy. That's the first thing that I was taught. And I remember picturing that over and over in my head. Okay, now, throughout all the versions of the Bible, all the King James versions, that's what you're going to see. Okay? Now, the next change that I see that is very legit is going to be the Darth Vader saying, "No, I am your father," when he always said, "Luke, I am your father." Okay? That one is a legit change. I've seen another change in the movie Moonraker. Dolly used to have braces, she no longer does. Okay? Another change that I seem to notice, which is really strong, is going to be the little squiggly line in the Ford logo and the split between the V and the W and the VW logo. Those particular changes, the biblical change, the vehicle logos, Star Wars, I'm pretty sure those have been changed. Along the same lines, they also changed Forrest Gump. Okay, and that will be where Forrest's mother taught him to say what? Life is like a box of chocolates. Now it says life was like a box of chocolates. Okay, so I know that one has been changed. And I'm going to tie that in with Sally Fields. I've always known her name to be Sally Fields with an S. Now, I'm going to also show you in this video here as we go forward. I'm going to give you evidence to support all of what I'm talking about. Sally Fields is involved for some reason in multiple ways. You want to know the biggest reason? And I'm going to show you it later. I'm going to tell you what it is now. Her brother, she has a video clip where she was on one of those late night shows where she said, "Hey, my brother works for CERN. His name happens to be Rick Field." I'm going to show you that. Show you the confirmation of that. I'm going to show you her saying it. I'm going to show you the confirmation by Rick at the Large Hadron Collider, confirming that and thanking her for mentioning him. Okay, so not only is her name changed, but she has a brother working at CERN. And I've showed you in the past where we had that scientist holding up the sign with Mandela and Bond number 1, where Bond number 1 starred who? Barry Nelson. So you put 2 and 2 together, you got Mandela effect. Okay, so there you go with that. There's one more effect with Sally Fields, and it's where she was known for saying, "You like me. You really, really like me." Now she says, "You like me. Right now, you like me." Okay? So that's more than one change with her. Another change that I'm pretty sure of in another movie was the movie Field of Dreams. Kevin Costner, "If you build it, they will come." Right? Now what does it say? "If you build it, he will come." Okay, that's a legitimate change right there. So as you notice, most of these changes are going to be in movies. That scientist was holding up a sign, Mandela, and Bond 1. So it's like they're tying in the movie thing, the whole movie thing, right? What do we know from movies in Hollywood, guys? You know that they do a lot of mind control through all of that. They give us a lot of predictive programming through all of that, right? So don't you think there's a little inside hint right there as to what's going on? Back to the Future. All you got to do is go look up the videos here on YouTube with all of the subliminals, all the predictive programming for 9/11, how they were telling you about 9/11. And I've looked at that again, and I've noticed a couple of things I want to show you. And you'll see in my later here in the video, I'm going to show you some other things that tie into the Mandela effect and time travel and the whole thing. Because at this point, I'm convinced that they've used time travel to make some legit changes, and then they're bombing us all of us, around the United States. Probably, here's my opinion, they're doing certain states, doing one thing, doing another thing, and another one. They're basically just using the ELF, the towers, the television, subliminal programming, and they're probably bombing everybody with misspellings and different things that cause a lot of confusion. They cause anxiety, fear, and confusion in the masses. Okay? That's what they're basically doing, guys. I'm pretty sure that I'm onto something with this, and if you guys look into it, what I want to do is put the idea out there for people not to be afraid of this whole thing that they're doing, because they're using it as a weapon against us. Yes, they've made some changes, but no, your whole reality is not caving in. No, there's not 8 of you. No, there's not 8 spinning ball Earths. No, the Earth, the one ball Earth that people think that we're on, that we've been lied to about, it hasn't been moved across the universe. We're on a stationary flat plane. That's where we're at. They are lying to us about it. They've been lying to us about it for decades. Okay, and they're not about to let us all come together as truth seekers, the whole truth seeking audience, come together and go push for a full expiration. Okay, recently what happened? If you noticed, what has happened recently? Recently they enacted what? A 35-year ban on private vessels going south to Antarctica. Why? For Chilean sea bass? Give me a break. That's not what it's for. It's to keep us from going south. Okay? The Mandela effect is real, but it's been blown the heck out of proportion. At the same time, in 2015, I noticed it coming up in 2015 while I was looking into flat Earth. It was growing and growing and growing in the background on the sideline. They're very slick. These criminal elite are very slick in what they do. Nothing they do doesn't have a reason behind it. Okay, Trump is there for a reason. I told you that when I did my video where I told you I wasn't going to vote for any of them, because I could see it coming a mile away. I could see the programming. They're setting us up big time. I'm going to show you all of this in this video. It's all going to be tied together. And guys, I think after this video, I'm going to take a break. Okay, because I don't know what else to say. I think everything that could be said has been said. There's not much more to say except you guys are going to have to research. And, don't get fooled by all this programming. We're being attacked. It's a weapon. It's a psyop. Look at the patch on this picture that you see that pops up on here. A psyop. They call everything a psyop. A lot of people are trying to say flat Earth is a psyop to distract us from all the other important issues like getting Trump in and all the other nonsense that we're being distracted. No, flat Earth is the mother of all conspiracy, and everything else is formed around it and underneath that freaking conspiracy. And you can bet your bottom dollar they will cover all bases to protect that secret and keep us the hell away from there. They do not want us going down there because they are hiding the true extent of creation from us. Okay? They are hiding that lie. All these nations are in cahoots. That's the problem. All these wars we fight are for what? For reasons that they've contrived for us. We are fighting for those reasons. When really the reality is, the real war, in my opinion, is everybody from all land masses, no matter what creed or race you are, what country you're living in, needs to realize that we've been lied to about where we live. And everybody needs to go south. A massive boat rush of people What's going to happen? Now what? They're going to blow us out of the water for going down there? Supposedly down there or going south or whatever? They're going to blow everybody out of the water that goes. So ask yourself those questions. If you're here for just the Mandela effect and now I'm blowing your mind about the flat earth, then I suggest you research it. Research my old videos. I didn't make them for no reason. You need to go research them. You need to research the topic before you start trying to crap all over it, because I've seen people getting angry, because I'm talking about Mandela. I've seen people angry that the flat earth is brought up. It all ties in together. Okay, it's all the same thing. It all ties into one bundle. It's the same criminal elite scum from all different groups, not just one group, not just the Vatican, not just the Masons. It's all tied in. They all work together at the top echelon. They all work together. And we are the ones, it's separate. It's them versus us. The elite that plans to live forever. And they've hidden creation from us. They've hidden the true extent of where we live, because they knew that would have gave us a lot of power. And they knew they wouldn't be able to control us if we knew the truth, everything that we needed to know. That's what's going on. That's why it's been so well guarded. So I'm going to attempt in this video to give you guys some insight into some things I'm looking at. And beware, even when you look into things that can help you support what we're dealing with here, you're going to find that sometimes it's going to have more propaganda inside of it. And I'm going to show you something here. Andrew Basiago, when I tell you that time travel is involved in all of this, Mandela and everything else, believe me when I tell you, it is involved. I'm convinced that it's involved. And why? Take a look at this. Take a look over here. I did a search for Andrew D. Basiago. Okay, now I've mentioned in my prior video this guy was involved in an episode of Conspiracy Theory. That other gatekeeper, Jesse Ventura, had a show with this guy, and they were talking about Project Pegasus and everything else. Now I did a little search on him, and there's some weird things when it comes to this guy. Okay. Now, let me see. I'm going to go to projectpegasus.net. Sorry, not available. See? All right, all this stuff here. Let's see. A couple of these sites, for some reason, they're down right now, right? They're not available. Now, Andrew D. Basiago announces 2016 presidential run. This is very strange right here. Look at this. As we look forward not to the 2016 corporate U.S. president election, I'm going to leave links down below for you guys that don't have time to watch these videos. For all you TLD did not watch people, okay? You need to start paying attention, and you need to give people time to present information that's important. That's why they're able to deceive so many people, because they've got us all like in this ADHD state of mind, and people are not picking up information they need to pick up. But it's time to pay attention. It's time to really put your head in focus. We're being deceived on a massive level. It comes from all directions. It's psychological warfare. Okay? Just look at some of this. Andrew D. Basiago, president. Look at these images. Look at some of this. Did this happen, guys? Was he even in the running? Look at this. Just look at some of this. Why is this even a topic, or why is it even... Okay, the Project Pegasus, all this stuff. Just look at this. I want you to look at it and see where I'm coming from with this whole thing. Why is this even a topic? And what does Trump have to do with the whole thing being mixed in with the time travel? Okay? Let's look at it. Look at this. Meet the time-traveling presidential candidate, Esquire. Okay? April 30th, 2016. If you thought the 2016 election couldn't get any crazy, you just haven't dug deep enough. Andrew D. Basiago is a chrononaut, aka time traveler for the unenlightened, and claims he has seen the future and the past, including his own election to the White House and Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. Also says he's visited Mars. Okay, that's a bunch of lies. Heliocentric models lie. He likely got teleported to other land, hidden land somewhere, most likely. If they're not just implanting memories in his head. There you go. You can look all this up. Okay? Look all these things up. Look into this, guys. Look into it. But this guy here was always involved in time travel. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Here's a brief description here on this Facebook page. Andrew D. Basiago, JD, MCRP, the team leader of Project Pegasus and founder and president of Mars. Okay, see there, they throw Mars at you right there. There you go. More ball Earth, heliocentric model, BS programming. Okay, they want you to believe that they can go to Mars. And not only can they go to Mars, but now, because of Andrew Basiago, they can teleport over there. Right? They can teleport to Mars. He didn't go to Mars. Andy served in Project Pegasus at the dawn of the time-space age and was one of humanity's first Mars explorers. Yeah. He is a prominent figure in the truth movement, leading a campaign to lobby the U.S. government to disclose such truths as the fact that the U.S. has achieved quantum access to past and future events. I believe that. And has used time travel to place a secret U.S. presence on Mars. Now, what this is a misdirection, disinformation. He's probably got a little bit of MK Ultra. You know, he's basically been, his mind is all messed up, basically. If this guy has done what he said he's done, okay, and I'll briefly summarize what I remember him saying, was that since he was a little boy, I mean, even Barack Obama was involved in this whole thing when he was a little boy, and they were going through time, and it all has to do with DARPA, and Basiago was going through time as a little boy. There's a photograph of him, and supposedly in the time of Abraham Lincoln, where he put these shoes on. You know, he had to get some shoes when he got there, and it's like, that's me, I'm standing right there. You guys need to go watch this episode in full, where he was supposedly with Jesse Ventura on conspiracy theory, and he talked about this. And I've seen him present this story on other videos, just other different random interviews that Andrew Basiago did. I've seen him present this, okay? And it always matches. It's never out of place. He always says the same things. Right, I'm not going to repeat it all for the sake of time. I'm trying to give you a brief overview and get you guys to understand where I'm coming from. All right. So he's been identified as the first of two planetary level whistleblowers predicted by the Webbot, which analyzes the content of the World Wide Web to discern global trends. Right. Okay. There's a lot of science fiction mixed in with a lot of truth here. That's what we get. When they're controlling the truth, we're going to get a lot of this kind of garbage, and this is what confuses people. All right. They're telling you some truth. Yeah, they are going through time. They've been doing it for a very long time. Then they're going to throw in some ball Earth programming in there because what? They need to cover up the flat Earth from all directions. So if you're looking at anything, yeah, they'll tell you that they're doing time travel and stuff. And they'll tell you all kinds of things. They'll tell you you'll find out about a hollow Earth. You're going to see all kinds of things. Like in Worlds Beyond the Poles, that book that I talked about and Chippy the Chipmunk talked about. In his video that he did a video presentation on when he was working with the Gleason map, he spoke about Worlds Beyond the Poles and how Admiral Byrd found land 5,000 miles beyond the poles, right? The supposed poles. And there it is, guys. Worlds Beyond the Poles, like I told you, on Amazon. Now, when I looked at it, when I first looked into this book, it was available for $900, okay? And here it is, the physical continuity of the universe. The enclosed pages contain the first and only description of the realistic universe of land, water, oxygen, and vegetation, where human and other forms of animal life abound. This is not a work of fiction, nor is it a technical analysis of anything. It is a simple recital of fact, which transcends the most elaborate fiction ever conceived. It projects man's first understanding of the factual and endless universe, which contains human life throughout its vast length and width, regardless of all abstract theory to the contrary. It is a view of the author that the earth is flat, a plane, and stationary, as the Bible also depicts it to be, includes original illustrations. Now, I do remember there was the description on this was a little different before when I first looked in here, and they brought up that it was written to disguise the hollow earth. So, you know, that's how I saw it the first time I ever looked at it. Okay. So you guys need to look into all this, okay? This is important. It says they have it here, Kindle, $5.95 paperback. All right. Must have got real popular after we did some videos on that. Look at all these stars on it. Very thought-provoking book, blah, 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 blah. Flat Earth research must read. Read this book carefully because it will astound you. I advise you to find a copy ASAP. They're not getting any cheaper. Okay? Treat yourself to the truth. Here's somebody who's obviously don't like truth. A waste of money, blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever. People don't want to know the truth. It's scary. But there it is. Worlds beyond the poles. They never really truly found whether or not there's a limit of any kind, right? So we don't know for sure at this point based on that book. And that's a nonfiction book. $900 book on Amazon. If you read through that book, you'll see where land was found 5,000 miles beyond the supposed pole locations, okay? So that's a huge clue right there. Now, if you go look at that book, from what I remember on Amazon, I'm not going to look it up now, but they tried to say that that book was written in that format to talk about land beyond the poles, to try and disguise the hollow earth. Okay, so you see, there's how they do it. They throw in a bunch of disinformation, a bunch of lies to try and cover the main thing. What is the main thing they are covering, guys? The fact that we're not living on a spinning ball. Okay? Yes, they're doing time travel, but that's not the biggest problem. They've been doing that for a long time. Now listen to me. Time travel. Okay? Before you laugh at it, before you think, oh, you know what you're talking about. No, they are doing it. And I want you to think about it and use common sense and say, why would they do it? They're not doing it so they can change your Fruit Loops and they can change your Ford logo. That's not the most important thing. The reason why they would do it is to make sure their agenda goes as planned. Okay, now you got Basiago all mixed up in this with stories of him being, and I'm going to show you where he's supposedly going to be the president and all this. They've done something. They play with the timeline. They got this guy all mixed into it. They want you to find him. They want you to find the fact that time travel is possible. They want you to find all this, but they never want you to find the exact truth of what's going on. And at the same time, you got Trump involved in time travel now. Now they're saying Trump. If you look it up, just look it up on YouTube. You'll see videos about it. He's somehow involved, and his father's involved because of some documents that Tesla had about time travel. Isn't this funny? Now all of a sudden he's involved. Then you got the Trump card with the enough's enough on it, and that snipers are in place. I mean, they're preparing us. And what they do with that recent incident at the rally, they're preparing us in our minds ahead of time, predictively telling you that something can happen to this dude. Okay, they've given us, because they control the alternative media with Alex Jones and Mark Dice, and they're over there celebrating, and it's a big party, and they're so happy.
We know what they go through. So it's been what they call a historic event. But to be really historic, we have to do a great job. And I promise
That's right. You got to deliver now, buddy.
Not let you down. We will do a great job.
He told me he said, "Well, I'll let you down."
I look very much forward to being your president.
Cut my
and
taxes,
hopefully at
baby.
the end of 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or maybe even 8 years, you will say, so many of you work so hard for us, but you will say that that was something that you were very proud to do, and I
This
can
is surreal.
thank
This
you very
victory
much.
is truly
And I can only
disgustingly
say, and we're going to be.
Tell me, Roger, he's not going to start a war, right?
I don't think he'll start a war.
Please, God,
proud
you
of
enough
the
of those.
president. And we're going to be.
Tell me, Roger, he's not going to start a war, right?
I don't think he'll start a war.
Please, God, you enough of those. Well, I say this. We have reached the main shield generator. You may start your landing.
Boy, oh boy.
Target maximum firepower.
It's about time you did this right.
Ooh, a little jab there for 2012.
What are you talking about?
By the time you did this right.
Oh, what he did, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Now
the
this
next
little
president of the
piece
United
of shit
States,
is up there.
Donald Trump. Thank you. It's been an honor. God bless.
Yeah, it's a great honor. We tried to put in our little blue-eyed baby,
Amazing guy.
Paul Ryan, but it's okay.
Have a listen to Chris Matthews over at MSNBC cry out in the name of the Lord Jesus after he finds out that Hillary Clinton may very well lose the presidency to Donald Trump.
If he wins New Hampshire, you get 4 out of New Hampshire, he'd be sitting there at 260. And then again, you take a look at what's left on this map, and you would need, you would need Wisconsin. Wisconsin would put him over. Wisconsin would put him at 270 at that
He already
point.
has Wisconsin.
Jeez.
Look, do you hear that?
Right.
He said it twice.
The math is getting easier to do.
Wisconsin would put him over. Wisconsin would put him at 270 at that point. Jeez. All right. Jeez. All right. Jeez. All right.
Look at
I
her.
will say that.
He's like cynical.
Mark Dice.
Other news agencies have already called Wisconsin for Donald Trump. MSNBC is in total denial. But
Mark Dice, man. You know, another shill gatekeeper. You know what I mean? Just leading everybody down the path, the intended path of the global elite. And like I said, I voted for neither candidate. But Mark Dice, Alex Jones, to have you believe that you're doing the right thing and they're leading you down the path of destruction. Okay? They're not going to tell you about the earth being flat. They're not going to tell you about time-traveling banditos running around making sure everything goes their way. Not going to tell you none of that, man. Just trust them, buy their products, and Trump's going to drain the swamp. And then we got all these people violently opposed to this election. It's almost like if you step back and look at it, that he wasn't really going to get in there because the people are so dumbed down that they wanted Hillary Clinton in there probably, right? And now, I mean, this is what it almost looks like. Like they forced him in there. They used time travel. They forced him in there. And now they've got the violence they need. People are aggressively, they're angry about it. So then they can have something going on in the background. And they can always pop them off or stage something, do a JFK type deal. And then what? And then they're off to the races. Now the people are angry. All the people that wanted him in there are angry. There's a bit, or they can blame it on another country, or they could do whatever they got to do to get a war further and get us into World War III. Okay, so understand that nothing happens without these people behind it. These global elite are always behind it. They're always 1 step, 10 steps, 100 steps ahead of us, years ahead of us, always. Okay. There's a lot of information I'm going to put out in this video because I'm going to be taking a break for a little while. But I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. When I analyze this stuff, I don't analyze it just to look at it for entertainment. This is not entertainment for me. This is not a joke. I want people to wake up. I want people to see this for what it is. It's not a joke to me. They've lied about where we live. And that's the biggest conspiracy of them all. Will we ever get it to the point where enough people can say something or do something about it or take action? I don't know. At this point, I really don't know, guys. It's up to you. It's up to you that's watching this video to tell others. And I don't know what to say. Because at this point, they've got us pretty good. They can almost say they've got us by the balls, okay? With all of this, with the veil of deception that they've got over a majority of the people, over the masses. Okay, so here we are. We're looking at this. He was called back into government service in the early 1980s when he made numerous visits to Mars after being tapped to join the CIA's Mars Jump Room program. Okay, that's one of the things he's talked about. All right. Now, he talks about going to Mars through these time portals or whatever, right? Because I know he said at one point they didn't just use it just to go through time. They would go, like, he could be on the East Coast and then get teleported over to the West Coast. You know what I mean? And he talked about being a little boy and he popped out of a portal and some guy saw him. I mean, I can remember this because it really blew my mind when I saw that back when I was still watching Jones and I saw Jesse Ventura. I was watching this conspiracy theory on True TV and I saw that episode, man. And it stuck with me. And then when I started seeing all this CERN and all of this is when I started remembering that. I remember that guy talking about that. But what I didn't like about him was the whole Mars thing. Now that I know that we're not a spinning ball, I've seen all the evidence that this heliocentric model is a lie. And then I see this guy talking about that he was on Mars. Dude, you know what I think? I'm convinced that if they are teleporting him anywhere and he thought he was on Mars, they teleported him somewhere else. Maybe they teleported him to land that we don't know about. That's the hidden land. What if they teleport him to a location here on the infinite flat plane that he thinks is Mars? What if there's an undisclosed location that they call Mars? What if all these planets that they say are planets are just closer points of light, okay, up above us? Maybe there's places on the infinite plane that I call the infinite plane or whatever, or the plane or the flat plane. Maybe there's places beyond the ice, beyond the poles. That are just other like how Matt Powerlin referenced it as geothermal ponds. Maybe those are just planet locations that they call planets, but it's just other geothermal ponds with more land. And so one location's called Mars, another location. Yeah, it's sci-fi, right? Like Matt said, oh, that kind of sci-fi, we don't want to talk about that, right? He said that in one of his videos, which makes sense. You know, people don't want to talk about none of that. They just want to talk about the sci-fi that they pumped out to you, that they've given you through the TV, whatever they tell you, UFOs and you know, all this crazy stuff, and infinite universes and parallel realities and multiple Earths and multiple renditions of yourself. Okay, that's what they want to pump out there, all this type of stuff. They don't want you to ever get fixated on who's doing all this, why are they doing it, what can they be hiding. They don't ever want you to think about that. That's why Obama and Kerry were talking about the flat Earth. That's why Kerry was all involved in this whole thing when they just reenacted this 35-year ban on private vessels going south. That's what it's all about, guys. It all boils down to protecting the secret that we do not live on a spinning ball. And when they do these wars, you could bet your bottom dollar that's another way to keep us away. As long as they keep us right here where they've got us, on these known land masses that we live on, fighting with each other about resources and for reasons that they've given us, we're not going anywhere. You understand that? These chemtrails and all that stuff, that is causing people to be apathetic, all right? These towers, these ELFs and all that, that's how they are bombarding us with programming, okay? Here's another theory, okay? I'm gonna move on a little bit, and while I move on, I'm gonna get to this document here. That was a little introduction to Basiago. You can look more into it. I don't want to stay stuck on him because, like I said, my main issue with him is the whole Mars thing. But I just gave you my theory on what he, if he was time traveling like he says, and it's all, I'm pretty sure it's probably they're doing something. But if that's how it all went, and they were going through time, and he says that he was going to Mars and all that, I believe he was just going to other land. Okay, that's my theory on it. That's what I think. You can believe whatever you want. But I know that heliocentric model is a lie. Okay, so, but that's how they do it. They want you to find Basiago. They also have to announce everything that they do. They have to announce, you know, they wanted the flat Earth out here, but of course they're going to confuse you. They got crazy people out here like who? LSC with his, what is it, concave model.
Where is the curvature? Where? No curvature. Where is the curvature? Where? No curvature.
Except that they need a limit, that they need to see the model, you need to see the whole thing. And then this guy, this Steven guy, he's not going to tell you to explore. He's not going to explore to prove what he's talking about. No, he's not going to do that. He's going to tell you, you believe me, and you do what I say. Just like how they told you that you live on a ball, and you better believe them. Okay, and that's what this guy tells you about the concave model. So when you run into that guy, remember what I told you. All right, and anybody else that tells you they know that we have some type of limit, that you can't get out of here, forget about all that. Forget that, okay? It's fine to read the Bible and say there's a firmament and whatever you want to think, but you have to understand that expiration is the problem. The two words that are poison to this criminal elite scum is full expiration, all right? And then you add to that the surface upon which we live. That's what's poison to these people. They don't want to hear it, and that's why they've done all of this. That's why all of this is going on. That's why the Mandela is blown up. Now, they did make some legit changes, but I want you to understand, this is my theory, and this is my opinion on this. I do not think that they'd waste their time going through time just to play around with all your products. They might do a few, okay? They might do a few things like the movie, whatever was easiest and most convenient for them to do, and whatever also put some coded messages in there for us. And like the Ford logo. Henry Ford supposedly funded Hitler, right? Okay, just put two and two together. J.C. Penney, he was a Freemason. Look at this, guys. Wasatch Lodge, #1 free and accepted Masons of Utah. James Cash Penney. Look how they spell it. James Cash, J.C. Penney, P-E-N-N-Y. Profession, look at this. You got both spellings. Look at the title, James J.C. Penney. Profession, founder J.C. Penney with the EY stores. Born 9/16/1875, died 2/12/1971. Initiated 4/18/1911, passed 5/19/1911. Raised 6/2/1911. Brother James Cash J.C. Penney climbed his way from humble beginnings to the top of the international retail market by an abiding practice in the name of his first store, the Golden Rule. In 1889, Penney took a small position in a dry goods store in the name of Golden Rule. Penney worked ambitiously, and by 1902, he had impressed the owners into granting him a partnership that year. Kemmermere, Wyoming, Penney opened his first Golden Rule store. Okay, so I'll include that link also below. I find it interesting how the title here. Okay, this is the site for the official site. See, wasatchlodge.org. There's your symbol, and there's his name spelled out as we used to remember the stores, and there you go. Right? If that has legit changed at this point with J.C. Penney, dude, I'm not even 100% on it. You know, and I'll tell you why. Because if you look at J.C. Penney, if they've been bombing us with advertising for a long time, I've seen coupons, I've seen it spelled that way. I really don't pay attention to it. I'm not, all into going shopping in the malls and all that stuff, but I'm pretty sure I probably have seen advertising recently that has been pushing the P-E-N-N-E-Y, and most people have. So you got to remember, these changes didn't happen overnight either. So if they happened a few, 5-6 years ago, and you got to also remember J.C. Penney was JCP. So if they were J.C. Penney without the E, and then they went to JCP, and then they went to J.C. Penney with the E, then what? You're not going to remember that. Unless you're like a serious shopper that remember that, you're not going to really remember that. I do remember seeing the P-E-N-N-Y. Pretty sure I do. But I'm not going to go 100%, and I'm not even going to worry about it. Because that's what they want. They want anxiety, and they want worry. Okay? The legit changes, I've already told you what I think they are. The movies, and there's and the one song that I know they changed, I'm pretty sure, and most people will agree, is We Are the Champions. Okay, at the end of that song, it says what? Of the world. And they had a commercial, I think, where they had actors that were sitting there recognizing that change. Okay, so they want this Mandela effect to be known. They want us to know what's happened. They want us distracted. Just look around YouTube. Look at all the young people that are falling for this, that are onto it. Not falling for it, but falling into looking at it. And they're all freaking out about it, okay? But they're not going to look deeper until they run across a video like mine to tell them this is what's really going on, why it's happening. Yes, I want everybody to understand they've changed things. But don't get stuck in the trap of, oh my God, the whole reality is caving in on us. Oh my God, we died and now we're, just forget about all that, man. It's all a distraction. It's a psychological warfare weapon being used against you, okay? And here's some more clues as to them being able to do things like that. Government mind control, electromagnetic warfare, and the practical application of ergonomics, right? The idea of voices in the head has traditionally been viewed as a paranoid ravings of crazy people, but what many dismiss as fantasy has become a decades-long government black project in mind control. Mental hospital patients have a history of being targeted for electronic experimentation via the use of extremely low-frequency ELF waves, which can cause silent subliminal messages mimicking psychosis. Okay? Now, this is going to talk about a lot of things they've done in the past, but believe me, they're a lot more advanced right now. Okay? What they're doing right now is, all you need to do is just understand that they've been able to do stuff like this, and that's the reason why I want to show you this kind of documentation. All right? I'm going to leave links to all this stuff, and you look into it and research it further, okay? I'm just putting you on the right path with this video. I can't do everything. I can't spoon feed you everything. So I just want to give you a brief overview. And this video is going to be long to many, but I'm doing my best to keep it short. Okay? So U.S. Patent 5159703, Silent Subliminal Presentation System. A silent communication system in which non-oral carriers in the very low or high frequency or high audio frequency range or in the adjacent ultrasonic frequency range or in the adjacent ultrasonic frequency spectrum are amplitude or frequency modulated with the desired intelligence and propagated acoustically or vibrationally for inducement into the brain, typically through the use of loudspeakers, earphones, or piezoelectric transducers. Piezoelectric transducers, okay? Other side effects of ELF waves include irreversible brain damage, leaks in the blood-brain barrier, skin cancer, fetal tissue damage. There's a lot of skin cancer out there, folks. Fetal tissue damage and heart attack. The people responsible for this hideous abuse of power are members of various intelligence agencies within the military and the psychiatric industry. They invariably target those considered undesirable within society, namely prisoners, soldiers, people with disabilities, children, the elderly, mental patients, ethnic minorities, homeless people, and those classified as sexual deviants. And I want you to add to that list those, and you could bet your bottom dollar, those in the truth-seeking community. Those who are looking or are sniffing on the wrong trail they don't want you on. Okay? All of the above groups are considered disposable to the government and their doctors who perform these experiments without regard to the safety of those involved. In many cases, blatant lack of respect for human life has resulted in gross injury, permanent emotional trauma, and even death. Because of a Senate Intelligence Committee investigation in 1976, thousands of documents involving mind control were declassified through the Freedom of Information Act. Okay, including the following. July 26, 1963, Memorandum for Director of Central Intelligence. Subject, Report of Inspection, MKUltra. Over the 10-year life of the program, many additional avenues have been designated under the MKUltra Charter, including radiation, electroshock, harassment, substances, and paramilitary devices. All right, so let me skim through this. So we got some MKUltra project here with Dr. Ewan Cameron. Different times, the President of American, Canadian, and World Psychiatric Associations. The Department of National Health and Welfare awarded grants to Dr. Cameron for his experiments involving electroshock therapy and the use of sedatives to induce sleep for up to 8 months in schizophrenic people. Other experiments were restrained on electric cages and their bodies overheated to reach a temperature of 102 degrees. Okay, these are just, these are different things here, all right? But there are documents, and I'm not sure if this particular document will list it, but I was looking at a document earlier that was talking more about the towers and the subliminal messages and things like that coming through the, that we can be getting through TV and everything else. And that's where I want to go with this, is what I think they are doing to make this Mandela effect a lot stronger, besides the fact that they've done some legit changes that they can easily get away with while they were probably making sure their agenda was going as planned. And to distract us, and it especially got real strong during what? 2015, when everybody started catching on to flat earth, right? So what I think they were doing basically is, and they're probably still doing it, is they're sending quick subliminal messages and stuff for all the people that watch TV, right? All these people that are into TV and entertaining themselves on the daily, right? They're getting hit and bombarded with frequencies. These cell phones, these towers, the TVs that we got these days, with the way they're designed, with the lighting and everything else, the subliminals are just massively. They're very powerful. I want you to picture this. Just picture them sending out a signal or a message quickly, and you know they do this in Super Bowl. Have you ever watched the Super Bowl, how they subliminally advertise in the background? Just imagine them sending out a bunch of misspellings, okay? So they can make, in the back of your mind, you might be watching Oscar Mayer spelled the way it's supposed to be spelled, the way you've always known it, and they're telling you it's misspelled in the background. So they could be doing it like that, or they could be just sending some type of signal, a sound signal, some type of frequency that's going into your brain to change the thought pattern, or subliminally place a message there so it starts making you question, and then those people that are watching TV, and then they see that we have some legitimate changes that a lot of people are agreeing upon, like people like myself that don't watch a lot of TV can say, yeah, there's a problem there. I noticed a problem with the Star Wars, right? He always said, Luke, I am your father. They start talking, right? And this is what the elite want. They want all these people, all these TV heads to start going crazy from this particular attack, from this angle of attack, to come in and start telling you that all this stuff changed, and they're freaking out, and they're making videos, and then they get inspired to keep making videos because it becomes a never-ending topic, and then they start getting creative and making more changes that really never happened, right? And then everybody starts thinking the whole world's caving in on them, and the reality is caving in, or we're merging timelines, or we're merging this, and then everybody's all confused with all this stuff, and they're not paying attention to what's going on behind the curtain, which is they're hiding where we live. Okay? So, there you go. You see that they have the ability, you see that they have the motivation to do this types of stuff right here in this document, and documents like these, right? Female subjects took part in an exercise involving the planning of a bomb, okay, stuff like that. You know about. Pretty sure a lot of you, if you've been true seekers, you've read or you've heard presentations about this type of stuff before. Let me see if I can quickly skim through here and see if they talk about any ideas used. Okay, you guys have probably heard of the Gulf War, the project they did with that, when they induce anxiety and fear, okay, with signals, with technology where they blast these signals, it's a warfare weapon, right? But just because everybody thinks, well, they just use that in war. No, they use that against us. All that stuff is tested in warfare on the battlefield, and they use it against us. Okay, they're at war with us, the people, the free people that want to be free, that want to be left alone. They're at war with us. These criminal elite don't care about any of us, dude. All right? So you guys got to understand that. This is an attack from multiple angles. All right, so we got this book that he wrote, Physical Control of the Mind Towards a Psycho-Civilized Society. Man does not have the right to develop his own mind. This kind of liberal orientation has great appeal. We must electrically control the brain. Someday armies and generals will be controlled by electrical stimulation of the brain. All right, I'm going to leave the link. You guys can come read all this stuff, okay? Many of the ideas used in the CIA's mind control projects came quite literally from Nazi concentration camps under the Nazi War Crimes Disclosure Act of 1998. Hundreds of files were declassified that revealed a covert working relationship between the U.S. government and the Nazis. U.S. scientists repeated many Nazi experiments, which included subjugating 7,000 U.S. soldiers to nerve gas, incapacitating agents, and psychochemicals, right? First human behavior control program, Project Bluebird, began in 1950 and was influenced by Chinese, North Korean, and Soviet mind control techniques. The stated purpose was for use during times of war, but a secondary and more covert agenda was the development of civilian control mechanisms. All right, look at this. This guy wrote here, I have also seen Project Bluebird mentioned as a secret UFO study. Indeed, one of the latest twists on the famous Betty and Barney Hill UFO abduction case was that it was really a test of a new method to induce memory screen implants. It seems that mind control and UFO reports frequently overlap, leading one to wonder which holds more truth. And I'll bet you right now, you know there's no UFOs. If you know the Earth is flat, then you know the UFOs are also BS, right? You know that they could, if you've heard of Project Blue Beam, you know President Reagan, what he do in the 80s is preparing us. He thought that it would be a great thing for us to come together because of an outside threat like aliens, okay?
I couldn't help but one point in my discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev. When you stop to think that we're all God's children, wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together. Well, I don't suppose we can wait for some alien race to come down and threaten us, but I think that between us we can bring about that realization. In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war? Maybe I'd answer it this way. I keep, in my frustration sometimes, you know, actually, if you count some of the things going on in smaller countries and all, there have been about 114 wars since World War II. But I've often wondered, what if all of us in the world discovered that we were threatened by a power from outer space, from another planet? Wouldn't we all of a sudden find that we didn't have any differences between us at all? We were all human beings, citizens of the world, and wouldn't we come together to fight that particular threat?
They've been doing that for a long time. You don't have to look far. You could find that. Just look that up. Look up Ronald Reagan, talking about that. Here on YouTube, you could find that easily. I'm not going to go through all that here. This is my main objective here. I'm going to stick to that objective on this video. All right, you got Scientific American stated that very low frequency VLF acoustic beams can be used to suppress riots, control dissidents. You probably heard about that with your big mouth gatekeeper Alex Jones. If you still listen to him, he talked about a lot of this. I'm not saying that Alex Jones didn't talk a lot of truth. They give you a lot of truth, but at the same time, they always keep the most important truths from you. All right. VLF waves can be transmitted by GWEN, ground wave emergency network towers, which are a series of 300 to 500 feet tall structures placed strategically over 200 miles in the U.S. A single tower would be sufficient to stop any local uprisings that took place within its 200-mile radius. You could bet your bottom dollar, guys, that they're using this technology on us right now, and it's part of the whole. It's part of how they pulled off the Mandela effect. Okay. ELF towers can perform similarly. In the 1982 Air Force review of biotechnology, it was said that ELF waves can be used for many purposes, including dealing with terrorist groups, crowd control, controlling breaches of security at militant installations. ELF towers are being erected by the thousands across the world. The official purpose is for cell phone transmission. Mind control activist Ken Adachi states, "It is no coincidence that the frequency band chosen for cell phone use, 430 megahertz, matches a frequency which affects human brain waves. In most major metropolitan areas, there are at least several hundred ELF towers arranged in a grid-like fashion." Okay? The issue of behavior modification can at first seem overwhelming to those without first-hand experience. Many people's first reaction is to dismiss the whole thing as a crazy person's issue. But on closer examination, it becomes readily apparent that the wide field mind control generated by cell phone or cell towers and VLF towers is making rapid gains in population control. The worst possible decision any responsible citizen or activist can make is to turn the other cheek. Okay? Although it would seem that much of the public information about mind control is outdated, in reality, much of the technological research went underground. And the current reality is that the more everyday people who come forward in support of survivors of mind control trauma, the more that the pressure is taken off the survivors themselves who are fighting against a secretive, well-funded, and mostly unchecked organization. All right, so I'll leave you guys with that. I'll put the link to this document. You guys can look into it. It's got, you know, other links that you can go and find even more information if you really want to research into this. If you've never looked into it, this is, like I said, I just want to skim over this really quickly. This video is going to be long. It's already 42 minutes at this point. It's probably going to, I'm going to try and get this, keep it in under an hour. All right. Now, going back to Basiago. Here's that episode on time travel. Here's a channel here. This guy, Mario Holdsworth, seems to have compiled a bunch of this. Now, like I said, Jesse Ventura is a gatekeeper. But, you know, these guys will present that, you know, have some information out there and put it in the public's face. And this conspiracy theory show put a lot of information out there in the people's face. But, you know why they do that is because they want, oh, if it's on TV, it's just entertainment. You know, it really serves two purposes. Yeah, it puts it out in the people's faces that know, that are in the know, that are doing a lot of research. And then it just makes other people that are, you know, really thinking it's all a bunch of lies. And, oh, it's just a bunch of entertainment. It's, you know, it's just a show. It's not real. It's just like all those towing shows and everything else that are on True TV. It's all fake and staged, just like wrestling. You know what I mean? So, anyway, on this episode,
shows up somewhere else.
Let's see. This is the one. I won't play the whole thing here. I'll just try and get a few parts.
And this is conspiracy theory.
Sounds not too good on it. Let's see where we got to Basiago.
Thousands of people have been killed along the way.
And they used them in the experiments, knowing that a lot of them were going to be killed. They can mind control you, they can capture you, and they can send you, and you've just disappeared.
Well, let me ask you this, Alfred. Why would they kill to keep this secret?
Because dead men tell no tales.
But what's the tale to be told?
Right now, the agencies that have control of this technology are two agencies. DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, and the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency.
Okay. Let's see what else we got in here. Where's the part where he meets Basiago?
Okay, I ain't buying it, but you're intriguing me. I'll talk to my people and we'll see what we can...
I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I just want to see if I can get the part where he talks a little bit about what he had done. But you guys can watch this. I'll put the link to this channel here in the description box below. Project Montauk.
But he says he knows who is.
Governor, Weber might not be as far as he did. Bashago.
Bashago. Okay, here we go.
The hunt for the
They're looking for him. You know, that's how this show always went the same format every time.
Vortex user, right? Hell, man, I say we do it right.
Come on, let's find it.
Take us all back in time with that little box.
I remember Bashago also saying that they had two different methods at the time. They could do time travel like with a computer. Okay. See, I'll tell you what I remember, and then when you watch this episode, you'll see if I'm correct in what I'm saying. But I do remember him talking about that they had a way of doing this with a computer, okay, and it didn't need to, it involved not sending anybody physically back, okay, so they can kind of like observe events. And I think that only went one way. I think it was only future, if I'm not mistaken. Now, when they did going through the past, I think when they went back in time and everything, that had to be physically done. This is what I remember, okay. And if I'm not mistaken, they tied in some type of alien technology and some chair or something like that into, you know, they always try and make it like UFOs did it. Or they're involved in, you know, all this type of stuff. They always want to mix that in with any of this. They mix in truth with lies. That way they can distract you and keep you off, you know, the full truth of the fact that we've been lied to about where we live. Basically what it looks like to me is he was saying at that time the time travel was dangerous. I think he was saying that people would go through those portals, and if they come out in the wrong area, there was water on the other side. They can get their leg would get severed or their foot. And what I'm thinking is they just improved the technology, and CERN, everything made it a lot easier for them. Who knows? Whatever they were doing with CERN. I believe on this episode CERN was shown, if I'm not mistaken.
The course of history.
So let me see if I can find that.
And now He's faced. But that's your.
I know it's in here. I think I've seen that. A part of this episode had that in it, where it showed the Large Hadron Collider in CERN.
Gets a call from June.
Took him a while to find Brishago here, or whatever they were doing, meeting up with him.
And there's one more name he offers, almost in passing. A fellow child time traveler and future president.
There you go. Remember I told you that?
Obama was one of the 140 school children involved in Project Pegasus. Yes, I met Barack Obama.
Did you know Obama will become president?
He was clearly identified as a future American president. Actually, one of the things that was going on is
okay, you see that?
Was briefing future presidents. So I met President George H.W. Bush and his son George W. Bush and Bill Clinton in Albuquerque during those years.
All right, so there you go. You got him saying that. Let's see what else he said here. That.
He and the other kids would jump through time.
There you go.
A facility in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Then land on the grounds of the Baton Memorial.
Listen to this.
In Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Which is a distance of 2,005 miles in several seconds.
From Santa Fe, Brishago says his father took him to the Sandia National Laboratories, where he jumped into the future and passed.
One of the places they sent us was to the Revolutionary War period.
See that?
And, in at least one case, influenced history.
We were literally in George Washington's encampment to advise him to retreat from New York Harbor.
Oh, so the generals from today was sending you guys back?
Let him finish. What happened?
Like,
well, they weren't the generals. They were just the defense technical people and CIA people aligned with Project Pegasus.
How did you get access to General Washington?
Well,
I tried to take you to those websites earlier in the video, in the beginning. You remember I couldn't go to them? Project Pegasus?
Sitting there, a very august gentleman. And I remember he was kind of looking at us with some mirth. He kind of said, well, what am I to presume you are, lads? Angels? We explained that we were time travelers from the future. We informed him what we were instructed to tell him, which was that he was going to win the Revolutionary War, become the first president of the United States, be regarded essentially the father of his country, but that all of those things depended upon him taking our advice to retreat and move his 2,000 or more troops from the destinies involved becoming the president of the United States.
And then he must track down the time-traveling informant.
To engage in better contingency planning.
But fast forward a little bit here.
I mean, a lot of this has changed, but essentially Sandia was the teleport in New Mexico. I mean, I was driven up here probably 40 times.
When you say teleport, talk to me like I'm the 6-year-old.
Okay. There was a device that consisted of two gray
Look at that.
colored elliptical booms that were about 8 feet tall, placed about 10 feet apart on the floor. Between those two booms would radiate a shimmering field of energy. And it had the capability to bend the fabric of time-space. So when we leapt through that field of energy, a vortal tunnel opened up in the fabric of time-space.
You're talking Star Trek here to me.
Actually, I'm talking the opposite of Star Trek. In Star Trek, you disintegrate the teleportee at the point of embarkation and then reassemble them at the destination.
This guy talks about it like, you know, it's no big deal. Notice that. And I've heard him say this story, not just to this Jesse, on this show with Jesse Ventura. I've heard him do this on other interviews. So look him up, guys.
But his recollections are hazy.
So does this gate look familiar?
I think this is another one of the side gates.
It's pushing this hard, but I don't know. That's why I want to keep moving.
Well, yeah, I want to follow through. Let's go to sleep.
Nested and interrelating to each other to have been made up fraudulently.
Coming up, the time traveler goes home again.
All right. You can watch this whole thing. I gave you a basic overview of that. I'm not going to play it. I don't want to play the whole video here. But there you go. There's an introduction to Basiago, or basically a confirmation of what I told you earlier, that he was involved in time travel. Okay, and I showed you that other article, all right, in the beginning, where, you know, this propaganda about the 2016 presidential run with him, okay, which I consider propaganda, but check this out. A video I found here. It's on this channel. I'll link this channel to you as well. Try GGVEH. Help. Who is this man? Time travel photos. Now check this out.
My name is Trygve. This is my very first YouTube video, so I hope I'm making it.
Now, these could be doctored, okay?
I will try to keep it short.
But take a look at this.
I'm making this because I'm asking for your help to identify some photos and some that I have in my possession. I got this from my uncle Olav, who back in the late 70s and
what does it say there? It says 2016 or whatever, right? I mean, watch what he says.
That's much about. And today is, of course,
you want he's going to open these photos and look what you see.
I'd like you to look at some of this, just some of these pictures. So lots of them, but yeah, we can look at this one. It's pretty strange. It says it was taken in the 80s, but it's obviously Canada geese, and they didn't come to Scandinavia until somewhere in the 90s. I'm pretty sure. But what I wanted to show you,
look at these signs
today, is
look who's on there.
This picture right here. It says it was taken in the US in 2016. And it looks like some rally or demonstration. Maybe a presidential campaign, I don't know. What I think is a bit curious is the signs. It looks like there's some kind of a big disclosure.
Who's that guy?
It says no more secrecy, if you can read this. Tell us about what you're hiding. Time for Truth, 2016.
That Obama.
Disclose U.S. time travel program now. And it says Obama, Field, and Mars or IRS or something.
Now, think about what they told you in Back to the Future, guys. If you alter something, Marty would get erased from pictures, right? If he did something wrong to cause his mother and father not to fall in love or whatever, he would get erased, right? Now you see this. Now, I'm not going to say these are real or not or legit. You can come to that. You make the call yourselves, all right? You know, this could be the hoax. This might just be BS, right? But if you look at this and then you think about what they told us about time travel when they gave us a programming with Back to the Future, you know, and like I said, that movie was going to tell you a lot of things. It predicted a lot of things. I basically, at this point, I'm convinced that Back to the Future, yeah, it's Hollywood entertainment, but you know what they're all about. You know, they're basically just telling us a lot of things they're going to do to us in that movie, right in our faces. Okay, they're going to do 9/11, the Mandela effect, everything is just right there in your face. Okay, that they've been playing around with time travel. I think that's one of the strongest weapons that these people have had. That's why everything seems to work out well for them. That's why it's hard to bust these people. That's why it's hard for people to wake up. I believe that they are altering everything that they need to do to make sure things go their way. They are trying really hard to make sure that their agenda keeps unfolding the way they want it. We are in the New World Order, but you know, they are constantly making sure things go in the direction they want it to go. All right. Now, I showed you, I mean, what were they doing here? What were they playing around with? They were going to make this guy president in 2016? I mean, is this a hoax? Was this something that was going to happen? And they took pictures of an alternate version of 2016? It's really weird, guys. Really weird. You know, this particular thing. I stumbled across this not long ago. I didn't really know what to make of it, and then when I started, you know, when Trump got in and I saw how all this unfolded, and then I started seeing videos with him being linked to time travel, I just started thinking about this, guys, and I want to present all this to you, and I want to show you how it all ties in, and I believe the Mandela effect ties in, and I believe that we're being set up big time when they put Trump in you know, when they selected him to be the president. If he's good, if he's not, if he's really a good person, like, you know, all these people want to believe, then I don't think they have good things planned. It's always for the benefit of the elite and not us. So I think they got something massive on, you know, in store. Okay, I don't want to make the call on what that is. You know, I can only assume what it could be, but you know, you guys use common sense. You know, it could be another JFK. You know, we have a massive false flag. I mean, I just don't see good things, man, because they got the people asleep. You know, they're programming them. They've got them confused. They got them anxious. That's why I want everybody, I want everybody to understand. Please understand this Mandela has happened, but please try and tell people what's going on. Just don't play into the hands of these criminals. They want you to be confused. They want you to be anxious. They want you to have no hope. You know, this weapon is working well. It really is. They want you distracted. They want you always finding a way to keep the heliocentric model true in your mind. So with the sci-fi that they give you, they always want to put the heliocentric model in there. Everything that they give you always supports that model because they're trying to cover up their lie. Okay? The bottom line is what's very dangerous to the criminal elite. They do not want the masses of people that live on these land masses that we live on, that we know of. They do not want these people coming together and heading in one direction, to the south, and going up against whatever forces they have to protect that area. They don't want us finding out. Okay? So that's all I can say, guys. Let me let this play out.
So I'm wondering if any of you recognize this man right here.
Yeah, Basiago.
Because I think that might be like the presidential candidate or something.
He's not the presidential candidate.
It says, "Time, truth, hero of our time. Recognition," and then it says, "Woman for Truth Network." So if anybody knows who this guy is or knows something about any of the people in the pictures, because it really doesn't.
This guy seems generally inquisitive about this situation. Okay, it doesn't seem like he's trying to spread some type of disinformation here or anything. But I want you guys to make the call. I'm putting this information out there for you guys to look at it.
Tell us about.
As we all know, photos can be manipulated and photoshopped, and they can pretty much make anything they want to make and say anything they want. Okay.
Chronovisor.
Either way, even if it is fake and contrived or made up, right?
Yeah, and this is.
It's a clue. It's still, even if you say, well, they made that up, it's fake, somebody made those pictures. Well, why would they do it? Why would they go through this trouble to put this out there to get people thinking along these lines? And then we have information about Trump and time travel now. Okay? They're mixing truth and lies and truth and fiction together. But in the middle, somewhere in the middle, there's truth. And like I told you, I'm pretty much sure they've used time travel to do some legitimate changes to things, especially the biblical, especially these movies and things like that. Use common sense, guys. They changed the easiest things that they can do. Okay? The things that wouldn't cause them a lot of problem, a lot of ripples. And then once they gauge and a lot of people started catching on to that, they just went ahead and started bombing everybody with psychological warfare and making them think I mean, they probably did change some products and everything too, some legit changes as well. I'm not even that worried about them, but I think a lot of that is just they didn't really have to make that many changes. I think it would have been more devastating for them to, like, say, get rid of some product line altogether. That would have been more devastating. Like, everybody, like, imagine if they got rid of Snickers and Twix and all that, or Mars candy. Imagine Mars. There you go, more propaganda for you, more baller. Mars. Imagine if they got rid of that company, and then all the candy that they made is gone, and everybody's like, and we're wondering what happened to it. It just doesn't exist. Wouldn't that be more devastating? So I don't think they'd mess around with all that. I mean, they're already doing enough damage to us with the GMOs, right, inside the food, in most of those foods in itself, right? They're doing enough damage with that. So mainly they're going to do what's easiest for them, what's going to work the best with minimal effort. Okay? They made some legit changes for a reason, but and especially the Bible, because this is good versus evil, right? And they need to really cause a lot. They need to touch us on every spectrum. So they mess with a lot of the. They knew they can get most of the people with the subliminal attack, thinking that candies and different other product names change by bombing their minds with subliminal messages and frequencies, ELFs, and all that, right? And then they knew the truth seekers and stuff would probably be a little harder. Maybe they don't watch a lot of TV, so they got us with some real, like they probably figure a lot of those people are probably watched movies in the past or whatever. They probably watched Star Wars. Most people know about it. And then at the same time, we had the new Star Wars movie come out, right? They would figure that we'll notice that one. Okay, we'll definitely notice that one, right? And they made sure to announce that Mandela and the movie involved. I'll show you that. I'll remind you about that in the Happy at CERN video. And now let's look at some of these comments at the same time. Look at what's going on now with the Mandela effect. Okay, first comment right here 2 months ago. Seeing this video gives me a feeling that this Andy guy was kept out of the presidency race because of him being replaced by Donald Trump. In short, was switched. Andy seemed to have been a great president if he ran, but time travel cuts out time. Maybe we Americans missed out on what could have been by now. What could have been? I'm not interested in any of these guys. They're all owned by the criminal elite, guys. Okay, we need to go after the elite. Okay, we need to go where it hurts, which is going south. They don't want anybody to wake up to that, but that's where the secret lies. Okay. This video was posted in 2012. Not sure if it's fake. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what it is, but either way, even if it's fake, just the fact that it was made, just the fact that this was made. Look at that, 3 million views on this. All right, so I'll link you up to that as well. You can go watch it again. You can watch the rest of it. All right, now let's go back to We Are Happy at CERN. All right, Large Hadron Collider channel. There he is. Here's your buddy. Let me go back to that. Okay, We Are Happy at CERN. This goofball bomb number 1, Barry Nelson. Okay, I'll show you that real quick. You guys don't want to believe me on that one, but here, let's look it up. The first James Bond movie. All right, just type that into Google or whatever, Yahoo. All right, and let's see if I think it says it in here. Where was it? I'll just do this. Barry Nelson, first James Bond. Let's see if that pulls it. Look him up, and it'll say right here. Nelson was born, Hakon Robert Nielsen, son of the... Okay, where does it talk about him being in the first James Bond career? Where is it? As an MGM Metro Goldwyn, what is it? Mayer, like Oscar Mayer, right? Metro Goldwyn Mayer at Metro Goldwyn Mayer. Let's see. Where is it? There's an area where it talks about him being in the first James Bond movie. There it is. He was the first actor to play James Bond on screen. See? So you get your Nelson right there. All right. So, and Mandela, Nelson Mandela, first James Bond movie, and Mandela, and this goofball giving you a thumbs up. They're real happy at CERN. All right, real happy at CERN. Now, let's go a little forward. Now, another video that they've got over here. Now, before we go to this next video, I didn't do this one yet. Let me do you this favor. I want to tie all this up, and I'm going to wrap this video up. I know it's been long. It's over an hour now, but I'm sorry. But I wanted to cover all this. Like I said, I'm going to be taking a break from all this. I want to close this out. I want to close out the Mandela, tie in Trump, and everything else. And I'm going to take a little break, guys. Please try and wake people up. Point them in the right direction. Don't be fooled by these psychological warfare attacks. All right, yes, there's things changing, but that's not the most important thing. What's important is why are they distracting you from the lie about where we live? Okay, that's the most important thing. All right, now look, Sally Fields. Sally Fields' brother works at CERN. Let's see if we get a video. There should be a video here. Sally Fields talking about her brother working at CERN.
Go and visit, which is...
We say CERN, that's...
I don't know anything about your family. Turns out you have a brother who is a scientist.
A high-energy particle scientist.
High-energy particle scientist.
He's one of the finest scientists on Earth.
And where does he do his work?
At CERN, where they, I think there's 200 of them that, release this information about the Higgs particle, the God particle, and he was one of the scientists who made that discovery at CERN, which I was able to go and visit.
We say CERN, that's CERN in Switzerland.
Is in Switzerland.
Okay, there's one. There's one Sally Field connection. Now we'll go and now watch this. You see her name. You see how this guy James Rhodes, he's showing you that was always S, right? Making sure he showed you that. All right, now Sally Fields, her name's a connection, and then she talks about her brother working at CERN, which is another connection. And we'll go ahead and we'll verify that. Now watch Sally Fields. Watch another change by her. Sally Fields, you like me. All right, and watch this. This is a famous thing that she had said, okay? Let's see. Now this is going to be a Mandela researcher. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the original. Okay? So you guys don't think this is somebody making it up.
And I can't deny the fact that you like me, right?
Hold on a minute. Let me start that over again.
And I can't deny the fact that you like me, right now. You like me.
All right, she wasn't supposed to say that, okay? She was supposed to say, you like me. You really, really like me, okay? Now, here, I'll show you. This guy's video kind of sums it up right here.
In 1984, however, the Sally Fields who said, you like me right now.
And that's Shine the Light 73.
And I can't deny the fact that you like me, right now. You like me.
I guess this means you
now look at everybody else
really like me.
doing it the way she always did it.
You like me. You really like me.
You like me. You really like me.
You like me. You really like me.
Look at that duality right there.
You really like me.
You like me. You really like me.
You like me. You really like me. You like me. You really like me.
You like me. You really like me.
You like me. You really like me. You like me. You really like me. You like me. You really like me. As a friend. You like me. You really like me.
You like me. You really like me.
You love me. You really love me.
Like Sally Field said, you really like me. You really like us. It is a great.
Okay? All right, there you go. That enough examples of the way she really said it? Okay, guys, and then one more thing with Sally Fields. Okay, there's her brother. This spring, actress Sally Field appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman. Now her brother Rick wants to respond. July 22nd, 2014.
Hi, David. I saw the show you did last month, I think it was, with my sister Sally, where you talked about the Higgs boson and the LHC and me a little bit. And I thought it was a great show. It was so funny. Sally didn't get anything very accurate, but she showed a lot of enthusiasm. It's a wonderful show. And I was also very impressed by you. You sound like you appreciate science and understood a little bit of it. And so I'm here at CERN now. We're having a meeting, CMS meeting. And on behalf of everybody here at CERN, I'd like to invite you to come to CERN. And we'll get you a hard hat so you don't get hit by a stray atom. And we'll show you around.
Oh, so we can come down there and you can indoctrinate us and lie to us about what you're doing.
You should bring your whole crew and do a David Letterman show from here. And I think it'd be a great show, a great David Letterman show from CERN.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you got that. And then, you know, and the most common connection with Sally Fields, man, just look up the Forrest Gump Mandela.
I could eat about 1.5 million of these. My mom always said,
Life was like a box of chocolates.
She did, huh? Is that what she said, Forrest? Mama always said that, huh? Let's see what Mama said here. Remember that? Remember that scene? Let's see what Mama said.
What's my destiny, Mom?
You're gonna have to figure that out for yourself. Life is a box of chocolates, Forrest. You never know what you're gonna get.
Mama always had a way of explaining things so I could understand them.
All right, there's another one here. There's another strong Mandela that I know is real too, and it's another movie. Hello, Clarice. Okay, and you guys know what he was supposed to say, right? In this movie, I'll go off track here a little bit. I'll show you another one I wanted to cover because this is gonna be my last Mandela video. I don't really want to cover these anymore, but I had this on my mind. I wanted to share it, so I'll share it right now while we're on this topic. Okay, to prove that that movie was also changed. Hello, Clarice. So lovely to see you again, or whatever. Now he doesn't say it. You guys know the effect if you're looking at this, but watch. Here's some proof. Jim Carrey. It's funny. Jim Carrey seems to be proving a lot of things. It's really funny, guys. He proved the Darth Vader one. He also did the little play on words with "you like me." Isn't that really funny how he's repeating a lot of these? It's just funny. I find that a little bit funny, and I find it very odd at the same time. And I'll show you. There's just some weird things about him too. I've seen Jim Carrey in that one interview where he's got the shirt on. He's got an astronaut underneath him, floating around underneath his jacket. It looks like a black shirt. It looks like an astronaut in space.
Please say hello to Jim Carrey.
All right, and he was doing some Illuminati hand signals and everything. Okay, look at it. Cable Guy, Silence of the Lambs. Let's see. Silence of the Lambs. Cable Guy, Silence of the Lambs. I know I saw this video before. You guys probably remember this if you've seen this movie. All right. Now, he impersonated what was said in the Silence of the Lambs movie that's no longer being said. Okay?
Check this out.
Watch.
Silence of the Lambs. Hello, Clarice. It's good to see you again.
Oh, Lord.
Okay?
I want you to know that this has nothing to do with...
All right, so there you go. Hello, Clarice. He said it. All right? So there you go. I got that. Now, let's go back to CERN. All right? Back to the Future CERN update. Check this out. This is on the same channel where we were watching Happy at CERN. Okay? All right, let's go back to this. Back to the Future CERN update.
When are we? Wednesday, October 21st, 2015.
All right, you see that date? Marty's in the DeLorean there. When did they post this here on the U.S. Large Hadron Collider channel? They posted this on what? October 20th, 2015. Okay? Now, they're going to make you, they want you to believe that they're just posting that for the convenience and the similarities of this movie, right? They want to do that to make a joke because this old man, the old man, the scientist that you see holding up the sign, everything kind of looks like Doc Brown, right? It's all a joke in our face, all entertainment, just coincidence. No, man, they're just throwing the truth at you in your face. They're mocking us all, man. Okay? They're going to tell you that we're not close to time travel. We're nowhere near it. Okay? They're going to tell you all of that. But in reality, guys, after all this other information I've shown you, All right, and just look around. You can see that that's how they're doing this. That's just use common sense. There's not multiple realities. There's not a bunch of phase shifting. There's none of that, man. That's just a bunch of disinformation injected into the mix. Okay, so watch this.
2015? You mean we're in the future?
Road? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
What do you see right there? Did you see that? Boom. JCPenney, right here in your face. You could say, oh, it's just coincidence, you know, they're at the mall. Yeah, that's product placement right there. Why is JCPenney such one of the biggest changes? It went from JCPenney without the E, right, to JCP and now JCPenney, okay? Just think about it. This dude's name is Cash. Middle name. They gave him this middle name for a reason. They say he's a Freemason. Just look that up, okay? We can look that up right now. There you go. Give me a stock clerk with a goal and I'll give you a man who will make history. Give me a man with no goals and I'll give you a stock clerk. Opening his first department store on April 14, 1902, J.C. Penney, right? James Cash Penney. Used to be Penny, like a normal penny. Giving all of his store managers shares and later including all his employees in corporate profit sharing. By 1971, J.C. Penney's had 1,660 stores in North America. Devout Christian. All right. Look at that. See that? Freemason right there. Okay? There you go. Wasatch Lodge, #1 free and accepted Masons of Utah. James Cash Penney. Look how they spell it. James Cash, J.C. Penney, P-E-N-N-Y. Profession, look at this. You got both spellings. Look at the title, James J.C. Penney. Profession, founder J.C. Penney with the E.Y. stores. Born 9/16/1875, died 2/12/1971. Now you know why he would be involved in the change, right? Why they would use this man's name in the change. Did they go back in time and meet up with Penny and he thought it would be funny? Yeah, go ahead and change my name too. Did they meet up with Henry Ford and they thought it would be slick to put that little pigtail on the logo? I don't know, guys. I'm not gonna make that call. You know, but it doesn't seem impossible given the fact, you know, given all this information that we have before us. It's all right here in front of our face. Okay, it just seems very obvious to me what they're doing. This whole movie has 9/11 written all over it, you know, from the tire tracks. You've seen the video where they have the sign and it has a 9, right, and 11, and then the NWO written upside down, and just all that, man. 9/11 predicted programming. Even, you know, like when they're at the mall, the clock's upside down. 9/11, the Twin Towers turning into the Lone Tower. I mean, it's all over it, guys. They're throwing all this stuff right in their face. Okay. And then this video here from the Large Hadron Collider. Alright, they're telling you they can't time travel.
So, John Ellis, how close are we to time travel?
This guy looks like freaking Doc Brown. I mean, it's a joke right in our face. Look at this big mess. You know? He's a mess over here, man, but he's got all that information up here, right? Big old mess. It's an organized mess for him. Watch what he tells you. We can't time travel.
I don't believe in time travel. I'm not expecting to see Marty.
You believe that? I got a bridge to sell you on the moon. Okay?
Hey, Big M. How's it hanging, McFly?
Hey, Fermilab, how's it going? Can you hear me at all?
If you believe that man telling you that they can't time travel, you know, I've got beachfront property in Colorado to sell you. Okay?
How's the weather in Chicago?
Never look the other way, guys, is what they're telling you here. Never think that we're doing anything sinister. Never think that we have these abilities. No, we didn't lie to you about where you live. Everything we're doing is so we can develop cool things like this, like hoverboards and all that. That's what we're working hard for, to develop things that you saw in the movies, to entertain you, to make your lives better. We only work this hard to make everything fun for you. You believe that, guys? Please don't tell me you believe that. Okay, so with that, guys, I'm going to move on from that. All right, I've covered pretty much everything I want to cover. But there is one more thing left to do before I wrap this video up. Okay, now here, look at that. Back to the Future predicts 9/11. You can go look that up if you want. All right, and I'll do one more thing. Now we're going to move on to the final topic of the video. We are at 1 hour and 21 minutes. Sorry this is so long. This has been the longest video I've ever made here on the channel, but it was very necessary. All right, check this out. If you don't believe me that there's some things going on and they're trying to mix Trump in with the whole time travel thing, just type in Trump time travel here in the YouTube search bar. Okay. Donald Trump, time travel theory, time traveling Trump and the Mandela effect. Okay. I find it very odd. And you know, you'll see it inside of these videos where it all has to do with Trump's dad and finding some documents from Tesla. And then I just showed you what, you know, the whole thing with Basiago, right? Isn't this odd? Do you guys not find this odd? Do you guys not find this suspicious? You don't find this like where they're trying to hide something from you and they're trying to distort reality, telling you some truth mixed with lies, a little bit of sci-fi mixed with what's really happening? Don't let this Mandela effect fool you, okay? Now, I'm not going to play these videos, but you guys can look them up, okay? And you'll see what I'm talking about with that. I want to shorten this up, but what I want to show you here, you can go watch these videos about Trump just by doing that little search, okay? No big deal. But there's the Trump card. All right, we know this guy got in. Like I said, Coke or Pepsi. They put in Coke. I was pretty sure they were going to put in Coke, right? There he is. Enough's enough. Anytime, any place, our snipers can drop you. Have a nice day, right? You think that, okay, read that card. When did this thing come out? In the 90s, right? The Illuminati deck of cards came out in the 90s. You've seen the Flat Earth card. You've seen the NASA card, right? What was Trump's slogan here? Donald Trump signs, "Enough is enough. Children's internet safety presidential pledge to prevent the sexual exploitation of children online," right? Enough's enough. Enough's enough. Trump 2016. 2016, I'm voting Trump. Enough's enough. Enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough, guys. Enough is enough. Yeah. of all these lies and deception. Okay? I don't know about you, but I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all this. They're playing games right in our face. Look at that face. This card came out. Time travel's all mixed into this whole thing. This Mandela effect. It's been blown out of proportion. They're covering up the flat earth. They're using this Mandela effect in multiple ways. Number one, like I told you, I believe they manipulated time. The main reason why they'd be messing around with time all of this time, and they've been doing this over the years, and I think a lot of these changes, I'm going to go ahead and summarize and close out the video. Alright? A lot of these changes probably happened over time. Okay? Over the years. So, with me not watching TV, and just being a truth seeker, not being bombarded by subliminal electronic warfare, I'm not going to be attacked as hard as other people that are asleep. So if you're sleeping, you're a sheep that's asleep, it's going to hit you really hard. This Mandela effect will hit you really hard. And then you guys turn into walking sheep that will come at all of us that are truth seekers, that are seeing the flat earth, and then we notice some of this Mandela effect, and then you're going to start thinking that that the whole world's caving in on you. The whole reality is crumbling down upon you. Okay? Oh my God, everything's changing. Don't give into it. What I recommend that you do, guys, and this is what I did. I really concentrated, I really focused on my past and really thought. And I started remembering how marketing was used and how they do different things. And that's how I finally came to the conclusion that Oscar Mayer wasn't changed. And you saw that video. That's why I put that video out, because at first I was fooled by this whole thing, because I was letting the power of suggestion, which is what happened, the power of suggestion, because I see the videos and from other people that are feeling really deceived by this whole Mandela effect, you know, to the full extent, it works against me too. It's like, oh wow, because I saw one change and I start thinking everything changed. And the power of suggestion can get me if the subliminal attack didn't get me. Okay? And I'm not saying there's not other subliminal attacks that I can't even prevent. Just because I'm not watching TV don't mean I'm not getting hit and bombarded. Okay? But, you know, you have to, I mean, there's a lot of things that go along with that. You're talking about the fluoride. You know, you have to make sure you're not getting fluoride in your water. These chemtrails are getting us, okay? So we're all under attack. You know, that's why you got to do the best you can for your diet. Everything else has to be in check. You have to do the best that you can physically. That's why all I ever wanted to do for a long time before I got into all this recently on my other channel was I just wanted to get people healthy, man, because I was starting to see that we're not getting anywhere. I gave up, kind of just got away from everything because of 9/11. I felt discouraged. I felt disheartened because I felt like no one's ever going to do anything about 9/11. And then I come to find out that Alex Jones was a shill and a gatekeeper. And, you know, from those that remember my old channel, I'm not even going to bother. I was going to put some of those old videos up where I first started talking about Alex Jones. They're not even going to bother with it. Okay, it's a waste of time. But those who stuck with me all this time know what I'm talking about, know where I'm coming from, and you know where I started. I don't really need to go into detail. I'm just summarizing it right now. But I'm telling you guys that I realized I learned what I learned. I know that we are being deceived. I know the alternative media, you know, for the most part is controlled. Okay? They control Alex Jones. You know, Mark Diaz is controlled. I mean, look at them celebrating and acting all, I mean, it's ridiculous. The whole thing about how they have this violence and everybody's being violently opposed to Trump and everything like that. It's just ridiculous. It really is. They're setting us up, guys. If what I presented in this video is not enough to show you that we are in deep trouble, that we're being led, we are mixed in. Even though we're awake, we're mixed in with sheep that are asleep. We're being led to slaughter. Okay? That is how I feel at the point of this video. There's enough evidence on this channel. I mean, I don't have that many videos here, but there's enough evidence from all the collective research by others, enough clues that anybody watching this video, you can get my main point watching this video, and you can go look back at everything else I've posted about the flat earth. I've shared other videos, other things, putting all this evidence together. It's an evidence table. And now I threw some Mandela evidence and time travel and Trump involvement on the table. We're heading for more problems. Those of you out there, and I've talked to many, that are fooled into thinking that Trump is anointed by God and he's been placed here, please don't be fooled by that. Okay? We the people have to make these changes. These people are all owned and controlled by the global elite. They do not make a move that they are not in control of. If they allowed a real guy to get in, like you guys want to believe, then believe me, they have a backup plan, and this is only phase 1 of their plan, and they will use this guy getting put in to appease truth seekers to hurt you on the flip side. That's what they're going to do. That's what I feel they're going to do. Inside of me, I'm not going to predict it, but I know we're not heading for anything good. Okay? For those of you that think, I hope you're right, that Trump's going to all of a sudden start talking about everything, want to question NASA for where we live, the whole 9 yards. I really hope so, guys. Don't think I don't have any hope that I wish that would happen, and I wish, but I come to the point where I got to be realistic. Okay, especially with all this evidence behind me that I just showed you in this video. There should be enough evidence to tell you where we're at. Please share this video. This is going to be my last installment. I want to hear your comments below. I've grown tired of posting these videos. I will keep my eye on the things, but I need to take a little break from posting these types of videos. I'm busy with work. Like everybody else, I'm stuck in this system. I've got to do what I've got to do. And I will be around. I'll be on YouTube. I just may not be contributing to the videos for a while here. I'm not totally going to walk away, but I want to see where people take this video, and I want to see where if people start understanding and gathering the concepts I presented here. Okay? Listen to me. Agents were inserted inside Flat Earth. Make no mistake about it. I've told you that. I've tried to tell you that in the video where I spoke about the American Idiot and LSC. I told you about that in that video. I told you the attack that I suffered from those people. Told you all that. Okay? They control everything. They put the information out there, but they also have to control it. This Mandela effect is the same thing. They want us to know the Mandela is happening, but they're also in control of it too. And they also spread a lot of this information out there. I tried to point you down the road, the clearest path I can put you on so you can see, so you can get a good idea. Now you need to do more research. Go through the links I give you in this video below. Down below, check out the links. You can watch all this stuff I presented in its full form. You can read through that document. You can find more documents. There's more documents, trust me. There's more stuff. You can find a lot more things about mind control and everything else. If you just don't believe me, there's even a conspiracy theory episode. If you want to just watch something, just look up conspiracy theory. When you look up the episode with Jesse Ventura and Basiago, look it up. There's one about that as well. Okay. You don't have to look far and you'll see what's going on. You'll see the proof of everything. It's all right there. All right. So there you go. That's where I'm at. This is what I wanted everybody to know. And I hope you guys take this information and you run with it and you start trying to present things. You know, if you're new to my channel, or if you're one of the people that stumbled on or looking at Mandela and you're really new and all this stuff's blowing your mind, please do your research before you comment and start attacking me for the flat earth or anything else. I'm not going to respond to none of that. I'm not interested in none of it. Okay, I know what I know. I've done the research. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Okay, there's no proof of that spinning ball. Okay, there is no proof. I don't care what you think or what you can regurgitate from the past or what we've been taught. There's no proof. We do not know where we live. We don't have the concept of where we live. I don't care that they're making Mandela effect changes to the geography. Of course they're going to do that. Why? Because we don't know where we live. They can tell you anything they want. They can make the country big. They can make it small. They can make it move to the left. They can make it move to the right. It doesn't matter. They can move everything around by 33 degrees. It doesn't matter because we don't know where we live. We don't know until we fully explore the surface upon which we stand upon. Look out there. There's no curvature. Okay, things being seen off in the distance. If you say, well, it's probably a bigger ball and the math don't work. Whatever you want to say, but you got to fully explore to prove it. Nobody has circumnavigated your ball at the size they told it was, and nobody has circumnavigated your ball as a bigger ball, down south, underneath the ball, all the way around in a complete loop around the ball. So if you're looking at a ball from the side, the ball earth, Nobody's done this around it. You say, well, they've done this around it, right? Like an equator, like flew around the equator, and that proves we're a ball. No, it don't. It proves that they flew over some land masses, or they went around the land masses on a flat plane. You see, going around like this, north to south, proves that it's a 3D ball. And they can't do that. They can't go around it because they can't do it. They would have done it already. So if it's a bigger ball, they haven't done that. So circumnavigation of the ball that you still believe in is your moon landing, because they didn't go to the moon. Just go watch the video. You know you're right. The music video I put up. Yeah, Kurt Cobain, you could say, well, he's got 33 and you know, all this. I don't really care about all of that. So what? They use all these guys. They put their names in the media with 33 all over it. It doesn't mean that all these guys, you know, are in the know 100%. They're just used. They're pawns. Big deal. They just tell you that they control you with the media and the propaganda and everything they're doing. That's all it is. Hollywood, everything's, you know, they're behind all of that, controlling us. Okay? So you got the mainstream media, then now you got the alternative media controlled by Alex Jones. All right? And they control the alternative media through him and through Mark Dice. Just go watch them celebrate. Just go Google them. Go look up their channels. Go watch how they're gloating over this whole Trump win. Immature. They look immature to me. I mean, yeah, I don't agree with the violence either by anybody. But does it make sense to you? I want you to ask yourself, does it make sense to you that in a landslide, which should tell you, well, that means most of the country should have been behind Trump, right? I didn't vote. But it should tell you that why should we be getting this violence? That should, isn't that odd to you? Doesn't it seem like something's amiss? Like this was forced and planned for a reason? And that's where I'm at. So please, you can disregard everything I've said in this video, and you can move on and try and feel good and say, no, this is it. This is our last chance, and God gave us a chance, and he put him in, and Trump's going to save us, and all of that. And this is it, and he's going to drain the swamp, and all this stuff. It's not going to happen. And I know I sound like I have no hope or no faith. But guys, the writing's on the wall. The only thing that can stop all this is we the people. We the people inside this country, the United States, where I'm making this video from, and you the people in your other countries that are led by other pieces of this criminal elite. The problems that they told you, why you fight or why you hate this country, and why our country hates that country, and why this and why that, is all contrived by the criminal elite. They got you fighting for what they say you need to be fighting about. And while we fight and kill each other off in these wars, they get further and further ahead with their agenda, their transhumanism, hiding the creator, whatever else they've got going on, whatever else they've hidden, whatever method that we should have known about that's involved in where we live, plus the creator and what the creator would have wanted us to know. I think that we don't know what we need to know. And it's all tied into where we live, guys. It should sound like the biggest adventure to you. It should sound like, man, you want to see people getting loaded on ships, doing whatever they got to do. Masses of people should be heading that direction. They don't want that. That's why there's that 35-year ban on private vessels going where? To Antarctica. And no, it's not for Chilean sea bass. So with that, guys, I'm done with this video. This is my final installment for now on this channel. I will be on my other channels. You can look back. You know where that channel is. I'm just going to be on my other channel here and there. I'm going to be working, and I hope you guys can spread this message and get some more people awake. And I hope I see similar videos, and I hope I see people going down the right path, trying to clear up all this mess. People being confused. Thanks for watching, and leave me some comments below.
Who am I? I'm the unsilent majority, big mouth. The unsilent majority. The unsilent majority. Who am I? I'm the unsilent majority, big mouth. The unsilent majority. Who am I? I'm the unsilent majority, big mouth. The
Why? For Chilean sea bass? Give me a break. That's not what it's for. It's to keep us from going south. Okay? The Mandela effect is real, but it's been blown the heck out of proportion. At the same time, in 2015, I noticed it coming up in 2015 while I was looking into flat Earth. It was growing and growing and growing in the background on the sideline. They're very slick. These criminal elite are very slick in what they do. Nothing they do doesn't have a reason behind it. Okay, Trump is there for a reason. I told you that when I did my video where I told you I wasn't going to vote for any of them because I could see it coming a mile away. I could see the programming. They're setting us up big time. I'm going to show you all of this in this video. It's all going to be tied together. And guys, I think after this video, I'm going to take a break. Okay, because I don't know what else to say. I think everything that could be said has been said. There's not much more to say except you guys are going to have to research. And, you know, don't get fooled by all this programming. We're being attacked. It's a weapon. It's a psyop. Look at the patch on this picture that you see that pops up on here. A psyop. They call everything a psyop. A lot of people are trying to say flat Earth is a psyop to distract us from all the other important issues like getting Trump in and all the other nonsense that we're being distracted. No, flat Earth is the mother of all conspiracy, and everything else is formed around it and underneath that freaking conspiracy. And you can bet your bottom dollar they will cover all bases to protect that secret and keep us the hell away from there. They do not want us going down there because they are hiding the true extent of creation from us. Okay? They are hiding that lie. All these nations are in cahoots. That's the problem. All these wars we fight are for what? For reasons that they've contrived for us. We are fighting for those reasons. When really the reality is, the real war, in my opinion, is everybody from all land masses, no matter what creed or race you are, what country you're living in, needs to realize that we've been lied to about where we live. And everybody needs to go south. A massive boat rush of people. What's going to happen? Now what? They're going to blow us out of the water for going down there? Supposedly down there or going south or whatever? They're going to blow everybody out of the water that goes. So ask yourself those questions. If you're here for just the Mandela effect and now I'm blowing your mind. Another change in the movie Moonraker. Dolly used to have braces. She no longer does. Okay? Another change that I seem to notice, which is really strong, is going to be the little squiggly line in the Ford logo and the split between the V and the W and the VW logo. Those particular changes, the biblical change, the vehicle logos, Star Wars, I'm pretty sure those have been changed. Along the same lines, they also changed Forrest Gump. Okay, and that will be where Forrest's mother taught him to say what? Life is like a box of chocolates. Now it says life was like a box of chocolates. Okay, so I know that one has been changed. And I'm going to tie that in with Sally Fields. I've always known her name to be Sally Fields with an S. Now, I'm going to also show you in this video here as we go forward. I'm going to give you evidence to support all of what I'm talking about. Sally Fields is involved for some reason in multiple ways. You want to know the biggest reason? And I'm going to show you it later. I'm going to tell you what it is now. Her brother, she has a video clip where she was on one of those late night shows where she said, hey, my brother works for CERN. His name happens to be Rick Field. I'm going to show you that. Show you the confirmation of that. I'm going to show you her saying it. I'm going to show you the confirmation by Rick at the Large Hadron Collider confirming that and thanking her for mentioning him. Okay, so not only is her name changed, but she has a brother working at CERN. And I've showed you in the past where we had that scientist holding up the sign with Mandela and Bond number 1, where Bond number 1 starred who? Barry Nelson. So you put 2 and 2 together, you got Mandela effect. Okay, so there you go with that. There's one more effect with Sally Fields, and it's where she was known for saying, "You like me. You really, really like me." Now she says, "You like me. Right now, you like me." Okay? So that's more than one change with her. Another change that I'm pretty sure of in another movie was the movie Field of Dreams. Kevin Costner, "If you build it, they will come." Right? Now what does it say? "If you build it, he will come." Okay, that's a legitimate change right there. So as you notice, most of these changes are going to be in movies. That scientist was holding up a sign, Mandela, and Bond 1. So it's like they're tying in the movie thing, the whole movie thing, right? What do we know from movies in Hollywood, guys? You know that they do a lot of mind control through all of that. They give us a lot of predictive programming through all of that, right? So don't you think there's a little inside hint right there as to what's going on? Back to the Future. All you got to do is go look up the videos here on YouTube with all of the subliminals, all the predictive programming for 9/11, how they were telling you about 9/11. And I've looked at that again, and I've noticed a couple of things I want to show you. And you'll see in my later here in the video, I'm going to show you some other things that tie into the Mandela effect and time travel and the whole thing. Because at this point, I'm convinced that they've used time travel to make some legit changes, and then they're bombing us all of us, around the United States. Probably, here's my opinion, they're doing certain states, doing one thing, doing another thing, and another one. They're basically just using the ELF, the towers, the television, subliminal programming, and they're probably bombing everybody with misspellings and different things that cause a lot of confusion. They cause anxiety, fear, and confusion in the masses. Okay? That's what they're basically doing, guys. I'm pretty sure that I'm on to something with this, and if you guys look into it, what I want to do is put the idea out there for people not to be afraid of this whole thing that they're doing, because they're using it as a weapon against us. Yes, they've made some changes, but no, your whole reality is not caving in. No, there's not 8 of you. No, there's not 8 spinning ball Earths. No, the Earth, the one ball Earth that people think that we're on, that we've been lied to about, it hasn't been moved across the universe. We're on a stationary flat plane. That's where we're at. They are lying to us about it. They've been lying to us about it for decades. Okay, and they're not about to let us all come together as truth seekers, the whole truth-seeking audience, come together and go push for a full expiration. Okay, recently what happened? If you noticed, what has happened recently? Recently they enacted what? A 35-year ban on private vessels going south to Antarctica. What's up, everyone? It's Dan with Unsilent Majority TV once again. And this is going to be my final video on the Mandela effect. As you can see, I've made a few videos, and I've come to the conclusion after doing these videos and really spending some time and putting a lot of energy into looking over this topic. I've come to the point where I've realized that yes, there are legit changes, but at the same time, we have quite a few changes that that I've found, in my opinion, are not legit. And this is not to discredit or put anybody down that might think a certain thing has changed, because there's many reasons for that. And I'm going to go in this video, I'm going to go into detail as to what I think is going on, why I think this particular effect is so strong and has gone out of, just basically gone out of control. But that's all by design. And there's a couple of reasons for this. And here's my basic premise as to what I think is going on. And I'm going to go ahead and show some documents and some video clips and things here to present why I've come to this conclusion. Basically, this is what I think is going on, guys. Throughout all of my videos, I always try and tell everyone that I am all about evidence. Evidence to support whatever particular claim is being made. Okay, so we have a claim here of the Mandela effect and things being changed. Okay, so what have we found? There's been biblical changes, there's been changes to movies, there's been changes to products, right? Along those lines. In my research and in my time that I've spent on this, I've come to the conclusion that yes, they have changed biblical verses, okay? The one, I'm only going to go over one of them right now. There's been more than one, but the most common one that everybody knows about is the lion shall lie down with the lamb, right? They want, you know, right now it says wolf if you open up the Bible. And I'll put that verse right here in the video so you can look it up. But if you look it up, it's going to say the wolf and it's going to no longer say the lion. All right? I am sure that was the first verse I learned when I was younger, when I was a little boy. That's the first thing that I was taught. And I remember picturing that over and over in my head. Okay, now throughout all the versions of the Bible, all the King James versions, that's what you're going to see. Okay? Now, the next change that I see that is very legit is going to be the Darth Vader saying, "No, I am your father," when he always said, "Luke, I am your father." Okay? That one is a legit change. I've seen mine about the flat earth, and I suggest you research it. Research my old videos. I didn't make them for no reason. You need to go research them. You need to research the topic before you start trying to crap all over it, because I've seen people getting angry, because I'm talking about Mandela. I've seen people angry that the flat earth is brought up. It all ties in together. Okay, it's all the same thing. It all ties into one bundle. It's the same criminal elite scum from all different groups, not just one group, not just the Vatican, not just the Masons. It's all tied in. They all work together at the top echelon. They all work together. And we are the ones, it's separate. It's them versus us. The elite that plans to live forever. And they've hidden creation from us. They've hidden the true extent of where we live, because they knew that would have gave us a lot of power. And they knew they wouldn't be able to control us if we knew the truth, everything that we needed to know. That's what's going on. That's why it's been so well guarded. So I'm going to attempt in this video to give you guys some insight into some things I'm looking at. And beware, even when you look into things that can help you support what we're dealing with here, you're going to find that sometimes it's going to have more propaganda inside of it. And I'm going to show you something here. Andrew Basiago, when I tell you that time travel is involved in all of this, Mandela and everything else, believe me when I tell you, it is involved. I'm convinced that it's involved. And why? Take a look at this. Take a look over here. I did a search for Andrew D. Basiago. Okay? Now, I've mentioned in my prior video, this guy was involved in an episode of Conspiracy Theory. That other gatekeeper, Jesse Ventura, had a show with this guy, and they were talking about Project Pegasus and everything else. Now, I did a little search on him, and there's some weird things when it comes to this guy, okay? Now, let me see. I'm going to go to projectpegasus.net. Sorry, not available. See? All right, all this stuff here. Let's see. A couple of these sites, for some reason, they're down right now, right? They're not available. Now, Andrew D. Basiago announces 2016 presidential run. This is very strange right here. Look at this. As we look forward not to the 2016 corporate U.S. president election, I'm going to leave links down below for you guys that don't have time